my channel. My name is Delilah and this is actually my first sewing video. I was going to wait until my sewing room was, I fixed a little bit of some things up. However, I decided to make those in a video as well. So today what we're going to do is recover this ironing board. So if you look at it, it's just kind of burned up and it just gets that way from, the starch and the iron. So if I'm going to be making more sewing tutorials, then I need a pretty ironing board. So that's what we're gonna do today, is show you how easy it is to recover it. So what you're going to need is elastic. You could also use rope. This elastic that I'm using is 3/8 of an inch wide. So that's a little less than 1/2 of an inch. I think about 90 inches in length is gonna be plenty for you to use. And then you're going to want a Sharpie so that you can mark around the edges when we lay the iron down flat, or the ironing board down flat. You're going to need about 2 yards of fabric. You're going to want the pinking shears, or if you have a serger, then you don't need pinking shears. You could also do a zigzag stitch, when we're doing the casing. This is helpful because you're going to want to measure 3.5 inches around the ironing board. You're going to want to give that much space. So let's go and lay down our ironing board so we can trace basically make a template. Okay, so this is where you're going to measure around the ironing board 3.5 inches. So just mark it with your Sharpie so that you know where to cut it. So just skip this part if you cut it with pinking shears. Otherwise, just use a zigzag stitch or your serger. Okay, so now that you have finished your edge, whether it be with pinking shears, a zigzag stitch, or a serger, now we're ready to fold it in and make the casing. So this one, it looks to me like, I'm using this elastic that's 3/8 of an inch. So really, you just need to sew it in like right here. So that would measure out to be about 3/4. So what you can do is go ahead and sew around about 3/4. Just go ahead and throw it through the machine and make sure that you're always sewing at the 3/4. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be under the ironing board. So let's just do it. Here we are at the sewing machine, and like I said, I want to keep my binding or casing, my casing about 3/4 of an inch wide. So all I did was, I have the option where I can move my needle back and forth. So I moved it all the way to the left. So it's just gonna sew right up against that edge. And I'm just gonna keep checking it periodically. Now this is the area that has the curve, so just kind of flatten it and just maneuver it a little bit, go a little bit slower, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because no one's going to see this part. Okay, so now here's the beginning right here. So we're just going to leave a little opening and we're going to back stitch a little bit. And that is where, now we're going to take it out and now we're going to put our rubber band in it. So there's our... Okay, so I kind of feel like that took a long time to sew the binding around the whole cover, but here's what mine looks like. So far, I sewed all the way around, and you can see there's some areas that it was not perfect, but that's okay because no one's gonna see it. So now I just need to find my opening again. And this part is gonna be kind of long and tedious as well, but I haven't found a faster way to do it. Is I'm feeding the safety pin through and I'm just pulling it. And so yeah, that's gonna take a while to get it to go through. Another thing that you can do is use a rope. You could have pulled it through as you're sewing. It does take a while, so what I would actually probably do is set it aside and go do it while I'm like sitting down watching TV at the couch. But for sewing tutorial purposes, I'm just gonna sit here and be patient and do it. Okay, we're almost to the end. Yay! Do a YouTube video, they say. It'll be fun, they say. Look, look. Okay. Yay! Okay, we're done with that part. Now, it's kind of tight, so I gotta work this through, but I gotta be very careful not to let this fall back into the casing, because then we'll have to do it all over again. So I'm just gonna kind of safety pin it here and just try to get the fabric to even out. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so once you got this end out and you got this end out and you've kind of shaped it a little bit to where it's, you know, all the ruffles are kind of even, we're gonna go to the machine again, and now we're just going to sew these two ends together and then sew up the casing. So we're almost done. Okay, so we're just going to sew these two pieces together. So just put them on top of each other like that and run it through the machine. You can even do a zigzag if you'd like. Okay, so now after we have sewn it in place, just tuck it back up under your casing. And now we're just going to sew that shut. Oh, we're going to take off the zigzag. Make sure you do your back stitches. And that's done, and now we're going to try to fit it on our ironing board. Let's see if everything works. Yay! It fits like a glove. Let's see. And then let me put this down so you can see the back of it. So I just put it underneath those, but look how nice it looks. So how was that? Not too bad, right? So this just kind of gives you an idea of how my tutorials are. So if you liked this video, well, even if you didn't like the video, please subscribe, because the videos can only get better, I promise you. The next video I'm going to post in a couple more days, but it's going to be a pouch for your masks, and it's going to be made out of vinyl. So please subscribe, because if you don't, then you'll just lose me, because I'm just like a little itty bitty person in this big huge YouTube world. So thank you for watching. Have a good night. Bye.